Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I have here the Panasonic Lumix 70-200 f2.8 with the L mount bracket. Now, I know Leica's a little different in the sense of they make their focal lengths a little bit different than everyone else. So their equivalent to this would be the 90-280 telephoto zoom lens. And I mean, believe me, that lens is absolutely phenomenal and I really enjoyed using it. But at its current price point, you're looking upwards around $6,000, which is not to take away from the quality of the lens or its performance, because I think it's worth every penny. But if you're looking for something a little bit more in budget, this 70-200 Lumix is probably in the $2,000 range. I'll put the exact link down below so you can check it out. And it's a great substitute. You know, I really enjoyed using it this past week, and it's definitely got a couple of things that I enjoyed. And you know, there's a couple of things that I didn't love, which we'll get into now. But I just wanted to quickly give you an idea of the size of the actual lens. So I just wanted to put it on here on my SL. And again, remember, this is part of the L mount alliance, so there's no need for any sort of adapter. Just clips right in. And let me see, can you clearly see the size of this thing? I mean, it becomes a pretty big lens, but if you've used the 90-280, that lens is a little bit bigger. But you know, I will say it balances pretty well. It almost seems like it's a little back heavy, which is strange. But again, you know, I was able to use this without any straps and it was completely fine. And I really did not have an issue with it. The actual lens does come with a tripod foot, which is removable. So all you have to do is basically unscrew this all the way. You pull out the pin and it completely comes out like that. And there you go. You don't have the annoying tripod foot that's getting in your way when you're shooting handheld. One great feature about this lens is the fact that it does have stabilization. It has the optical image stabilization built in, and there are actually two modes for it. One of the modes is basically if, let's say, you're doing video and you're kind of like panning from side to side, that covers one of the modes. And then the other one is basically just from camera shake when you're holding it handheld. That covers the other mode. And then you also actually have the option to just switch it off completely if you are shooting an interview video and you just have it set up on a tripod. There's really no need to have that on. It does waste a little battery, so you can actually turn that off completely. Now, the other nice thing about this lens is that it is an internal zoom. So when you go from 70-200, you see that the actual lens does not change in size whatsoever, which is a nice plus. The other great thing that I found out about this lens is that it does have two customizable buttons. So there's one on top of the lens here, and there's one over here on the left side of the lens. Honestly, while I was using it, I didn't really program them to be anything specific, but the fact that they are there and you have the option, I think is kind of cool. You know, Leica lenses are very minimal in their design and very sleek on the outside, so they don't have any sort of buttons or switches on the outside of them. Everything is done internally through the camera. So it's a little bit of different feel in that sense. Now the actual lens, let me actually just take it off here. Put that to the side, there we go. Now the actual construct of the lens is made up of 3 ED elements and 2 EUD elements, along with 1 aspherical element. If you've ever used a Leica lens, you've heard aspherical elements plenty of times, because Leica really likes to load those up into their lenses, hence why their price range is what it is. Now I'm not going to go too far into what those terms actually are or what they actually do for the lens as far as quality, but just basically rundown would be the fact that it helps with chromatic aberrations, sun flares, and ghosting in your images, which I was not experiencing in any of the images that you see here. These were all taken with the 70-200, and I mean, they look flawless, really. The optical layout is designed to minimize chromatic and spherical aberrations throughout the zoom range for higher clarity, sharpness, and accurate rendering. The actual lens comes with a double focusing system, which utilizes both the linear motor, sorry about that, and a stepping motor as well, in order to provide you with fast and reliable autofocusing. Another neat thing about this lens is that you can use it natively on other Leica cameras such as the CL and the TL, since they have the L mount on there. Now, since those cameras are APS-C crop sensors, this lens actually converts to about a 105 to 300 millimeter. So it gives you a little bit of extra zoom there. Now, one thing I will say about this lens, while I was using it on the SL, the first time I turned it on, well, every time when you turn it on, you get this little message saying that, you know, a high performing lens like this is going to eat up your battery. I shot with this lens all day, and then I also shot with the Sigma 105, which I did a review video, which I can put up here, a link to if you want to check that out. And that one actually also had the same message when I put it onto the SL. I shot from, I want to say, I don't remember the exact times, but we might have been shooting for about 5-6 hours straight. I only went through one battery, which blows my mind, because usually when I'm using like my 24-90 or the 16-35 or even the 75 SL Summicron lens, if I'm shooting for 5 or 6 hours, I'm definitely switching out batteries. So I'm not quite sure what that message on the screen was about, because like I said, I never switched out a battery, which is wild. And I think that day we shot, I think when I uploaded my images, is around 1,700 images, something like that. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I thought that was a little strange. If you happen to have a similar situation, let me know in the comments below, because I was very curious about that. Now, back to the lens, it does have a rounded 11 blade diaphragm, which contributes to the really nice bokeh that you see in some of these images. And it's really beautiful, the fall off. It really separates your subject very nicely from your background, and I was very, very impressed with the quality of the portraits that I took with this lens specifically. Now, another great thing about this lens is it is weatherproof, and it is designed for to be splash dust proof, and it can go into, I believe it's like -15 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, I don't imagine myself ever to be in that temperature, but you know, if you're one of these Nat Geo photographers that goes to Antarctica to shoot penguins or something, and you need 70-200, this guy will get it done. Again, I don't ever see myself going to that kind of temperature, but the lens is designed to work within that temperature range. So that's pretty cool. You know, one other thing that I'll mention about this lens is that it is compatible with the DMW STC14 and the DMW STC20 teleconverter adapters, so you can actually extend this to have an even longer focal length, which is awesome as well if you need it. If you're one of those wildlife photographers, those definitely would come in handy. Now, as the actual build of this lens, that's the #1 complaint I hear about people talking when they prefer to use the Leica lenses over Sigma or the Panasonic lenses. To be 100% honest, you know, it's not a Leica lens. You can definitely feel the difference as far as like the quality of this build, but it's not a deal breaker for me. You know, it basically feels like some of my old Nikon lenses, which I never really had an issue with the build of them. I've just been spoiled now with using Leicas, but honestly, it's not a huge deal. It's a solid lens. It's heavy. You know, there's a nice weight to it, and like I said, when I throw it onto the actual SL, sorry about that noise. you know, it feels sturdy in my hands. And again, I don't love using straps. You know, I have these just in case for my Peak Design straps, but it feels great in my hands, and I feel like, you know, I can carry it and not have to worry about dropping it or anything like that. It really does have a nice weight to it. One thing I do want to try with it is shooting video, which I didn't get a chance to shoot any with the SL. I did most of my video shooting for the shoots on my GH5, which is what I'm filming with right now. But the fact that it does have the stabilization modes on here, I'm really wanting to try those out. Perhaps maybe I'll do another video in the future, just testing this lens with the video capabilities and the optical image stabilization. Sorry, had a brain fart there. So if you are looking for a substitute to the 90 to 280, trying to save some money, you know, this is a great option. I know Sigma also came out with a 100 to 400 millimeter, but I think that is an f4, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think this would be the best option as far as an L mount lens for a telephoto zoom. So, you know, I advise you to check it out. Lens Pro to Go has it, and so does borrowlenses.com. You know, try it out for a couple days, see how you like it. I honestly haven't really had any major complaints. The only thing I would say that I don't love is the infinity aperture ring here, and the fact that if you see, it slides up and down, and I feel as if I was shooting on the sand regularly with this lens, that this would definitely get some particles in there and eventually would start like grinding. That's really the only thing I can think of that would be a deterrent from purchasing this lens. Other than that though, honestly guys, I don't really have any sort of complaint. I'm just gonna throw on this tripod foot back on here. Clips in, then you just tighten it. But, you know, all in all, I think this is a great little substitute. And I look forward to possibly, you know, using this more in the future, and maybe I end up buying it. You know, one thing during all this COVID stuff, Leica lenses have become a little scarce. And on top of that, with the new taxes, you know, they've gone up in price as well. So that's, you know, deterring a lot of people from purchasing them. But like I said, if you're looking to save some money, this might be your best option for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a little thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, would love to have you follow along, and all you'd have to do is hit the little subscribe button down below and you can join the community. I post videos of photography, videography, and Leica specific gear reviews. Also tips and tricks on working within the fashion and modeling industry. So if that stuff intrigues you, definitely think about subscribing. Been trying to post at least once a week due to the overabundance of work that I've been getting. It's looking more like 2 weeks posting per video. Trying to get better at it, guys. It's just been, you know, I'm a one-man show, so it's been a little bit difficult. But I do have a lot of planned videos for you for the future, including a review for the Leica 16-35 and another specific review for the Leica 90 to 280, which I know a lot of people have been asking about. I also have in the pipeline the review for the SL2, which I am super excited about, and hoping, you know, once they become a little bit more available, to switch from my SL to the SL2. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully the factory pumps some more of those out, that I'm able to get one, because that would be awesome. I'm really excited about the video features for that camera, and most likely we'll end up selling this GH5 that I'm currently filming on, and just use the SL2 because it's really a phenomenal camera. If there's any other specific gear reviews or anything else particular as far as like tips and tricks about photography or videography or anything like that, just leave me a comment down below and I will add it to the list and try to get that into the pipeline as soon as possible. So until next time, I'm Victor Quintana, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.
Boom.